Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Paisley if you are new here. Today we are going to be playing around with the Anastasia Sultry Palette. This is their newest palette to their lineup. It's a very cool toned palette, kind of reminiscent of the Soft Glam palette. It's got the golds and the pinks in here like the Soft Glam palette did, but it's got some more cool tones in here as well. This is the look that I created today, so it's a very smoky black look. I put a poll out on my Instagram to see which kind of look you guys wanted to see, and most of the votes were for cool tone, probably because most of the looks I do are warm tones, so you guys just want to see something different from me. I get it, that's awesome. So this is the look I created today. I kind of cheated a little bit because I used a warm brown in my crease. Well, it's not like super warm. It's the warmest brown in the palette, so I used that one in my crease today, so I kind of cheated, but I think overall this is a pretty cool toned look. I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's just hop right into the tutorial. I'm just gonna go check out what everyone wants to see. Okay, cool. So it's looking like everyone would like to see a cool look. 72% for cool and 28% for warm. So I guess we're doing a cool toned look today, which is definitely not my forte. I definitely prefer warm toned looks on myself, but for you guys, I will definitely do a cool tone look. I mean, this is definitely a more cool tone palette, so I see why you guys want to see a cool toned look using these shades. So I think for today, I'm going to do like a black smoky eye. I haven't done one of these in so long. I saw Bailey Sarian, oh my god, I don't know how you say her last name, even though she says it at like the start of every video, but her friend did a smoky black look on her, and so I kind of want to try that out on myself, and maybe I'll use the silver on my lid for a little pop of shimmer because I love shimmer on my lid. So yeah, I'm just gonna get started with that. I think for today I'm going to be starting out with Fresh just all over my eye as a base. I'm really excited that they included this shade in the palette because it's like a matte cream color, which is really good for just putting all over your eye to set your eye base, and most palettes don't come with this, and I really appreciate that this one did. So I have got MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot all over my lids. That's usually what I prime my lids with, or I use Tarte Shape Tape. They're pretty similar. I'm just gonna take that Fresh color and just mostly focusing that under my eyebrow, and then with whatever is left on my brush, I just pull that down more into the crease area. And because I've been doing a lot of like winged out shadow looks lately, I also am going to take a tiny bit of that shadow. It's exactly the same as my skin tone, and I'm going to put it on this outer part because I find when I don't set this part and I try to pull my shadows out, they get a little bit patchy. So I'm just going to be setting that area as well. Alright, so I feel like I've got a pretty good base, and now I'm going to take the shade Birch, and I'm just going to be putting this one in my crease. When I'm working with black shades, very cool tone shades, I like a tiny bit of warmth in the crease. Just gonna give the tiny bit of warmth to balance everything out, I think. The shadow is going on a little bit lighter than I thought it would, so I'm just gonna be building that up a tiny bit, just adding more until I get to like the desired color that I would like, but it is building up nicely, which I do appreciate. Obviously, you guys know I don't like shadows when you can't build them up. I mean, what's the point? So I like when a shadow is more buildable. So next I'm just going to be laying down a little bit of a base on my lid for the black shadow, and for that I'm going to be using this NYX Jumbo pencil, and this one is in the shade Black Bean. The shadow from the palette, Noir, it's really pigmented, and I don't think you need a base. I just don't want any fallout because I've already done my foundation and stuff, so I'm going to be using this so I have a little sticky base for the shadow to stick to, but you don't really need one is what I'm saying, because the shadow is amazing on its own. So I'm just going to do one eye at a time so that one doesn't set before I get a chance to blend it. So I'm going to be blending this out with this Morphe brush, just blending this out in the crease, because you don't want a harsh line at the edge of where you put that NYX pencil. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do my other eye. And I'm keeping the shape very rounded this time, so I'm just keeping the black on my eyelid. I usually do winged out looks, but today I guess I'll do something a little bit different. And then to make sure that's blended out, I'm just going back around the edges with some of the brown shade I used first. And then right after this, I'm going to start packing that black onto my lid. And as you can see, like the NYX Jumbo pencil doesn't look very pigmented once it's blended out, but it just gives that nice tacky base for my black eyeshadow. Alright, so now I'm going to take Noir in the palette and I'm going to use the same brush that came with the palette. I'm just going to be using the other side of it now. Definitely make sure you tap off your brush before you use any black shadow. This one actually isn't getting any kickback in the pan. Some of the other shades are, but this one isn't, so that's reassuring that I don't think I'll get very much fallout with it. And I'm just starting that packing motion right at my lash line because then I will blend it up further. I want most of the pigment to be at my lash line, if that makes sense. So once I get to right about there, I'm going to be blending it out with basically nothing on my blending brush, just the leftover brown that I was using before. I'm just going to use that to blend this a tiny bit further up. You don't really need to add more product once you get pretty close to your crease. Just blend the edges out and that will take it pretty much as far up as you will need to. So if you get too much black on your blending brush while you're blending this out, I definitely recommend wiping it off onto a towel or a paper towel and then just going back in with the clean brush again. If you have too much product, it's obviously going to get too big, and when you're working with black, you need to be very controlled with where it's going, because if it goes too far, it's hard to correct that. So for the next shade, I'm going to be using a popularly requested shade. I got so many messages requesting me to use this shade in this tutorial, and this is the shade Cyborg. I'm not gonna lay any concealer down. I am going to be wetting my brush, however. So we're just gonna see how pigmented this shade looks over top of that black. Kind of scared actually. It's not going on the brush very well, so we'll see. That's actually really nice. It's gonna take some building up, but it's pretty nice. And then I'm just gonna be taking a bit on my finger as well and putting that over the top. Now that I have the nice shape laid out with my brush, I'm going to use my finger to get a little bit more pigment. Fingers always work out better with shimmery shades. It's just a thing. Wow, that is so pretty. I'm just gonna take a little bit of black and just clean up the edges of that halo, but I'm really, really liking this. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other eye off camera and I'll be right back. So for my lower lash line, I'm going to be using the same shade that I used in my crease earlier, so the shade Birch. You can obviously use a smaller brush if you don't want as diffused of an application as I enjoy. I like a pretty smoked out lower lash line. Or you can use a smaller brush if you don't want to poke yourself in the eye like I just did. So something that I never ever do is using eyeliner in my waterline. I don't know why, I just don't like it on myself. But today, since we're going super smoky anyways, I'm going to be using Anastasia Darkside Liner in my waterline, and then I'm going to be smoking that out a tiny bit with the black or the gray in the palette. I'm not sure which yet. So then using the same brush that I've been using to pack on the black eyeshadow, I'm just going to smoke out my lower lash line. Alright, so now that my eyeshadow is all done, I'm going to go ahead and apply mascara and some false lashes. For the mascara today, I'm going to be using Smashbox Superfan Mascara. This is kind of my favorite mascara right now. I'm actually pretty impressed with it. The bristles are really short and a lot shorter than I normally am used to, but I like how it's not a super wet formula and it gives me really defined lashes because I can really get in there and define each lash, which with a bigger brush you can't really do, I feel like, because if you get too close, you might smudge the mascara onto your lid or something. See, I've been really liking this Smashbox mascara. So the lashes I'm going to be using today are these Starlet lashes from House of Lashes. They look like this. They're a very rounded shape. They don't really have a wing on the outer corner, which is perfect for this more rounded eye look. So I already kind of have some face products on, but I'm just going to take a little bit more blush just to amp up my look. This is the Radiant Blush Kit from Anastasia. And then I'm just going to be adding a little bit more highlighter, and I'm using the Amrezy Highlighter from Anastasia. I love how that gives my skin kind of like a wet look. It's so, so pretty. I wish it was a little bit lighter because if I use too much of it, it's it like shows up on my skin as a darker color, but it's really nice. So to finish off the look, I'm going to be using another Anastasia product, just sticking with the theme here. And this is Rock Sand by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm not using any of these shades from the new collection because they're all metallic, and I don't think a metallic lip would really suit this look, so I'm going to be using this. Alright, so this is the completed look. It's a little bit more dramatic than I normally go. Obviously, I don't do this like on a daily basis, but I mean, it's a pretty fun look if you wanted to go more dramatic, maybe for a night out or something like that. Alright, so I'm just going to be giving you my overall thoughts on the Anastasia Sultry Palette, what I thought after using it just once. I have swatched all the shades, so I've kind of got a feel of the colors in here. So this palette, I think, is very, very similar to other palettes that they have been coming out with recently. There's a ton of golds and pinks, which I think is very, very similar to the Soft Glam palette. So in that sense, I don't think it's very unique as an Anastasia palette. I think they could have thrown some shades in here that made it a little bit more unique, a little different than what it is. But with that being said, I do appreciate some of the shades that they put in here. For example, I love the black and I love the matte brow bone color, because most palettes, they don't put that matte creamy shade in there, because I guess you could use just like your face powder or a separate eyeshadow. But when I'm blending out eyeshadows, I love having my skin tone eyeshadow matte color in a palette, because I'm always reaching for that. So I really like that they put that in here. I also adore some of the bronze shades that are in here. For example, Ember and Teak are absolutely beautiful. However, I don't think I'll ever use Bloom. I'm not a pink eyeshadow sort of person, so that's why I didn't really like the Norvina palette. It was just not my style. I don't know, as the one pop of color in the palette, I'm not really into it. So overall thoughts, do you need to go out and buy this? If you have no other neutral palettes, maybe you only have like super orangey warm palettes and you want some cool tones in your collection, I would recommend this one. It's a great thing to add if you don't own any cool tones. But personally, I'm not sure, like if I were to spend my own money on this and not be sent it, because obviously I was sent this in PR, I don't think I would get it. I don't know, just because cool tones are not my thing. I do like how it turned out, and maybe I will play around with this some more now that I have it. I'll maybe do some cool looks with it, but would I buy it? Probably not, because cool tones just aren't my thing. The quality is great. If you like cool tones, it's great. If you're lacking cool tones in your collection, it's great. But personally, I'm a warm toned kind of girl, so I don't know guys, it's not my favorite, but it is a beautiful palette from them. I like it more than the Norvina palette, I will say that. The Norvina palette was just too purpley for me. I gag at purples and pinks. I hate them so much. I'm sorry guys if you like purples and pinks. I feel so bad saying that, but I hate purples and pinks, so I do like the Sultry palette a lot more than the Norvina one. Alright, so those were my rambly overall thoughts on the palette. Will you guys be picking this up? Let me know in the comments down below if you are into the Sultry palette. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe, please do. It makes me happy. That's it for me guys. I hope you have a good one, and peace out.